Hello and welcome to the emisCAD video that introduces occupancy within emis. We're going to use the drawing that we created in the previous video, and once we've loaded emis, in this case we're going to first of all navigate to the warehouse site, and on the dashboard here you can see that the information that we entered is summarized in the dashboard charts here. Now we're going to open the occupancy management module and add an occupant to the space that we created. The occupants in emis are identified by financial accounting codes. Now we've created and preloaded an accounting structure in this test system, and I'm just now going to locate an example account code that we can use in our space. And the example I've created is supermarket, so I'll just dismiss this for now and we'll follow the occupancy wizard to create the occupant. So it's going to be another agreement. We're not using a lease based occupant in this example, so we first of all set the start date and we've left the end date open. And we're going to find this account code now in the structure and select it, press OK. Now we can go on to the next step and choose the spaces that we want this occupant to reside in. Choose the charge code and optionally the deal, and press next and finish, and this now creates the occupant in the emis module. Now at this point the drawing doesn't know that there is an occupant in the space, so we're now going to open the drawing. Now when the drawing is opened, it's going to interrogate the database to look for any differences, and these differences will then need to be applied to the drawing. So we do have the option to say yes, let's have a look at those differences. The actual space data hasn't changed, but the occupancy data has, so if we just choose occupancy, and we can see here that at the moment the occupant is unknown within this drawing. So I'm going to apply those changes to the drawing, and we're going to now use one of the functions we haven't used yet, the occupier list, and this will now show us all the occupants in the drawing. And at a later video we'll look at the occupant mapping, but for now, because we only have a simple space, it's not going to be very useful to do that now. So I'm just going to save the drawing so that we capture that occupancy information in the drawing, and just to show you that the occupant has indeed been associated with the space in the drawing, we just edit the space and we can see here the supermarket occupier code in that space. Change the room type in the space. Just to repeat this process, save the drawing, which will export the data back to the database and should then be visible within the occupancy module. So we now can see that we've now got a room type of store cold, and now I'm going to change it in here again to store manned. Okay, and we'll open the drawing again. It will now interrogate the database again to see if there's any differences. It will then give us the option to look at those differences. And indeed it's detected this change to the room type. So we'll apply that to the drawing by pressing apply on this form. And we'll just list the spaces as well, and finally save the drawing to capture that information permanently in the drawing. That concludes the introduction to occupancy in emisCAD. In the next video we'll take a look at the occupancy map in a little bit more detail in a more complicated drawing. Thank you for watching.